Episode 78. Will these comics make good film and television shows? Let's find out. We have Green Arrow, we have Red Sonja, and we have Giant Size Fantastic Four. Let's jump into it right now. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel and hearing my tirades about movies and television shows and board games. I just got back from Gamma late last night, a 7-hour drive from Atlanta to Kentucky, but had some good meetings. I'm hoping that Destiny Aurora, if you guys have played in a Destiny Aurora game, I'm kind of hoping that I can make a deal to bring that back to life and start doing some expansions and things to that effect. So anyway, I had some good meetings on that. Also, I am Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, if you guys don't know who I am. Some of my books and graphic novels are on Amazon. And if you really want to some stuff signed by me, etc., I do have a campaign going on right now. It is a late pledge, so we've already been funded through Kickstarter. But if you missed it, it's for Lords of LA, my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. The link is in the description below if you want to give anything up to that. We have about 8 pages left of art, and we're ready to go. It is 48 pages, so we've gotten pretty far. All right, so let's jump right into Green Arrow. So we're going to start with DC, go to Marvel, and then go to Dynamite. All right, so this is Green Arrow number 9. This is a limited series of 12 issues, where in the beginning of this, Green Arrow was in a multiverse because he had wiped his own mind, because something happens where he becomes dangerous to everybody else around him. But this is by Joshua Williamson, who is writing a few things simultaneously, and I kind of feel like this one's kind of on the back burner. So I have not been a fan thus far. In the last issue, he was fighting on a Bonapia, and he found out that Arsenal was working for Amanda Waller, so he figures that he's being coerced. So he's trying to find him right now. Meanwhile, he's also trying to find out why the Justice League disbanded. So we start out on the Hall of Justice, where we have Waller's people, including Peacemaker, breaking in and stealing everything, including Wonder Woman's costume and Blue Beetle's hover glider there. And I have a really big problem with this. Right off the bat, second page into this, I'm already having problems because she does not have a court order to walk into private property. That's A. So technically, she's breaking the law. It's entering what she's doing right now with Peacemaker and everything else. And you can't tell me that Batman doesn't have a shit ton of security going on here. You know, they wouldn't probably make it through the first front door without being gassed and a bump in a million other booby traps. So I have a huge problem with this right off the bat. It makes no sense. And then Amanda Waller pops in saying, yeah, I'm bad. Yeah, look at me, I'm bad. We get some more stuff with Peacemaker going on and things to that effect. And then we go to Ollie dropping out of a airplane. And then we're going to switch over to Connor, who is going to be looking for Diggle. So he's wandering the streets looking for Diggle. I forgot, he's on Quarter Maltese. So we get a fist coming at him. Of course, it's Diggle's. And then he has this conversation with Diggle and says, yeah, you probably don't want to beat me up right now because we're going to go after Merlin, and we want you along with us, and that makes him pause. Okay, so then we swap back over to the Justice Hall of Justice, where Ollie has now broken in. Of course, anybody can break into the Hall of Justice. I mean, just the door's always open. Just walk right in. It's fun. Even when Waller's there with security guard, they didn't even bother locking the door, you know. So a light shines on him, and he ends up fighting this bright light guy. and of course he can't hit anything because the light's there, whatever. So bright light guy proceeds to knock the crap out of him. So I guess he hits one of the eyes, and it looks like he's got spikes in both of those pictures. It looks like he has spikes on his knuckles, and if he gets hit like that, he's not gonna have a face left. His face would be completely bloody. So I don't even know why I put the spikes in there if they were gonna just relegate it to just a fist. I don't know. There's so many holes in this. It's just scary. So now he wakes back up, but he is being held hostage by Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller tells him, no, I'm not coercing Arsenal. He is working with me, etc. But I really set this trap for you because I want you to work with us. And he's like, why the hell would I do that? He says, I want you to steal. Amanda Waller says, I want you to steal something. She lets him go, and she says, I'm not going to hold you here, but I think once you hear me out, you're going to want to do this job. I want you to steal secrets. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then we switch over to the last page, which is the reveal of this mask from Heroes in Crisis, which is called The Sanctuary. And I don't know why anybody would harken back to Heroes in Crisis, since it was one of the most hated things that Tom King ever wrote, where it made Wally West a serial killer, and it was universally panned as one of the worst things ever done. So, and now Joshua Williams is picking up a piece from it and sticking it into pretty much a really bad Green Arrow series. So, will this make a good film and television show? No. I mean, the first couple of seasons of Arrow would be a better starting point to make any kind of a film or television script than this. Joshua Williamson has dropped the ball on Green Arrow from the start and has never picked it up. And this is, when this ends at 12, nobody's even going to remember it. It's poor. It's poor. All right, so let's jump into a giant size Fantastic Four. Number 1. This was written by a couple of people. One of them you might recognize, being, I believe it's Stan Lee. So what they did was half the book is contemporary, where somebody wrote it now. And then the second half is the throwback, where they do a reprint of one of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's pieces way back. Oh, it's number 33. Yeah, so they reprinted Fantastic Four number 33. Fabian Nicieza wrote the first part, and it was okay. So we start out with Reed and I forgot the guy's name, Stingray. And Stingray they're mapping out or investigating some parts of the underwater area. And, of course, they find a door. Why wouldn't they? They're just haphazardly, going through this underwater thing. And they just run into this door. And they're like, you know what? This looks like a door. Let's open it. There's no way that Reed Richards would just open an unknown door without any investigation whatsoever. So, naturally, the rest of the team's like, we haven't heard from them for a while. They've been underwater for a very long time. Maybe we should go investigate. Which is what they do. And instead of having the Fantastic Car actually have a bubble around it, which again was something that Reed would probably put on there, Sue creates a bubble and lowers them down. Now, why they kept Johnny's really stupid-looking mustache because I haven't read Fantastic Four in a long time. Ryan North was writing that thing, and he went off the cliff down to hell with it. I mean, it was so bad that I don't think anybody's reading that thing anymore. I don't even know how he's still on that book. It's so bad. But anyway, he gave Johnny a stupid-looking mustache, which he's now kept throughout this entire thing. I have no idea why. But anyway, so I guess there's the open door, and this Atlantean comes out, and I guess he was the reason for Imperious Rex, which is what Namor would always say as like his battle cry but I guess he's like this guy's like an ancient general or whatever else, and he was the one that coined that. And you can see Johnny's really bad mustache. I have no idea what's going on, man. No idea. So anyway, they bubble him, and then they lets the fire go through, and again, you can see the really bad mustache there. It's just a joke at this point. But then Sue, I don't know if this was a flashback or whatever else, but Namor's in a really weird prison and in a straitjacket. I don't even know what's going on there, and you know what? I don't care. But this is where he tells them all about General and the Imperious Rex thing, and he's like, no, we had to seal him away because he was so dangerous, etc. And I guess then they go back underwater, and now we see, Reed and Stingray down there, and of course, now we have the Fantastic Four shows up, and it's clobbering time underwater. And we have a big fight there. I mean, while Sue is trying to get them out, while the Thing and Johnny kind of keep the General busy. So I think his name is, Noctil or something like that. But anyway, so the battle continues, and then they stop and try to chat. And he explains that time had passed, and what happened to Atlantis, etc. Again, I don't even know what happened. I collected the other Submariner thing, but that was in the future, so I have no idea what happened to Atlantis. But according to Reed, Atlantis was destroyed by a gamma bomb because Namor decided that he was going to attack the surface. I don't know where that happened. There's no reference to it. There's no nothing here. Again, anything that has Namor, I love. Anybody who knows me knows I love Atlantis. And if anything comes up with Namor, I usually buy it, even if it's bad. And the last one was bad, but it took place in the future. But I don't remember any of this ever happening. And he finds the trident down there, and that's the end. Okay. Good right there. Good right. And I don't need to tell you that the old story is better than the new one. So now we go into the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee stuff, and this creature comes out of the water, kind of in a bag type situation here, and we find out that it is Lady Dorma, and Johnny brings her inside. Of course, she's in a bubble in her head. That's because she breathes underwater. And she explains that Atuma has come and attacked Atlantis. However, it is her fault because she got pissed at Namor, who didn't tell her he loved her or something to that effect, which is down here. And, a woman scorned, so she basically let Atuma into Atlantis to attack it. You might not want to piss her off again. So they're like, well, he's really our enemy, but we can't ever let anything like this happen where people are losing lives. So Reed comes up with this spray that he can spray each of them with, and they can now breathe underwater for X amount of time. Namor never realizes that they are there. So Atuma's people are attacking, and the Fantastic Four are thwarting them from afar. So again, Namor never knows that they're there. So they're battling continuously and kind of going on the outskirts of Atlantis, knocking out Atuma's people. And then Namor then ends up fighting. But, the artwork's pretty... it's old school for sure, but it's dynamic. That's one thing that, Kirby could do. He knew how to create dynamic images, and he knew how to do alien technology. I mean, some of the technology and machines that he's created are so detailed. It's pretty incredible. Like, if you did, modern day coloring on this stuff, it would look great. It would even hold up to today. But it's just, it's the very flat coloring because of the fact that, they only had like monochromatic colors at that time. But anyway, so he squares off against Atuma like winner take all, and they're trying to cheat from the sidelines and attack Namor. But, again, we have the Fantastic Four just at every turn. He's destroying these things. And then Atuma even has like his antlers up there. He actually has them come off. There's, again, they're foiling all these side things. But there's Atuma's horns that then come off, and there's another weapon that he's got. And Namor's not having anything of it, except for the fact that now the Fantastic Four, their time has run out with the gas that was put on them for them to breathe underwater, and they have to get out quickly, but not too quick, or else they'll explode, with the pressurization of their lungs. So it's interesting that they put that in there, because that is a scientific fact. But anyway, so he ends up beating Atuma, and then he tells Daedorma that he knows that she betrayed him, but he forgives her. Forget about all the people that died. Don't worry about all those Atlanteans that died because of you. I forgive you. So, and I definitely enjoyed the second story better than the first, for sure. The first one was kind of throwaway as far as I'm concerned. But it was neat seeing the Stan Lee and Kirby stuff, and that's the good stuff. In fact, I'm reading John Byrne. I'm going to do some videos on John Byrne doing instead of the Thing, She-Hulk takes his place at the Fantastic Four, and that stuff is just great. It's just great. All right, so let's jump into Red Sonja number 8. This is by Thorin Grumbuck, which you would think by the name of Thorin it would be a man, but it is actually a female writing this. And I have been enjoying this. So in the last piece, Kulan Gath, which is her main villain, he was dead, but he was found a way for his soul to be able to jump between people. So he's kind of possessing people and kind of pushing her to open this portal to beat this other villain, which she did, but of course that let him out. So now he's out back in the real world, and he's causing all kinds of trouble. So we start out with this guy named Dorian Runebinder, which is it's a great name. He's a throwaway character, but he's a great name. So anyway, he's being hunted, so he's on the run. There's some kind of black rain going on, and he goes to his old master, etc., who basically tells him that they're about to get hunted. Red Sonja ends up saving this little girl from being sacrificed in this enchanted forest, and the big baddie was running after them, and this is the first time I've ever seen that, but Red Sonja turns tail and runs with them. They get to like the edge of the forest, and the thing can't continue, so they end up escaping them. However, now they're going to go see one of their family members, and I guess one of their family members is a magic user. But they keep running into creatures, and we get this like siren that tries to beckon them, turns into a monster, and then there's other monsters chasing them. I'm not sure if this is due to Kulan Gath or if it's just the forest in general. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's something that Kulan Gath has created around this to awaken these monsters that are going after her, and we get this like a wraith. I thought that picture was really, really nice. So they continue running while these things are attacking them, and the family member there comes out and scares them all away. But Red Sonja does take some damage at the same time. So Kulan Gath ends up, he wants to find this Dorian Runebinder, and he threatens this little boy to tell him where the magician is, or the magic user is, or else he's going to kill his little sister. So he finds a secret door, and he walks in there, and Dorian is ready for him, but not so much. Ready, but not ready for Kulan Gath's level of power. So he sends, little constructs of, not little, but big snakes. But Cool and Goth just melts them. And then he basically rips Dorian's heart out of his chest and eats it. So I guess it's a little bit like Highlander kind of thing. So now we switch back to the family member, and she tells them, she bandages up Red Sonja, and tells them that she knows where Cool and Goth is, and Red Sonja is piqued by this, and says, yeah, if you can tell me where he is, I'll go after him. And then we go back to Dorian, and that's where the eating of the heart is, and Dorian is no more. So we go back up to, with Cool and Goth, goes back out of the secret entrance and says, how many men do you have? And the guy's like, I don't know. And the guy his friend jumps in front and says, we have 200. The guy doesn't know how to count, so, take it out on me, kind of thing. And he says, no, you're intelligent. Come over here, and you're going to help me. And he sends this magical bird out. And the magical bird awakens. I guess he's like a giant, but to me he looks like a god. So yeah, he awakens. That's why I guess he's a giant, but he looks like a god to me. It's like a frost giant, I guess. So and he's like, daughter, get everybody together. And she's like, yes, father. Oh no, he looks pretty small to be your daughter, but whatever. So what is he? Is she like a half and half? So they leave together. And all of a sudden, all the animals are going in the wrong direction. But there's wolves, but there's just, the whole forest is like fleeing. And she's like, what the hell's going on? Even the monsters that were about to attack them turn tail. So she's like, oh my god. And then we have this big splash page where it's the Great Hunt or whatever. And that's where it ends so far. Yeah, I really like it. It's been pretty good. I like when Cool and Goth is done well, and where he's actually a real source of danger, and peril for the rest of the characters, and for Red Sonja to go towards the danger. Of course, that's what makes her the hero. So I think so. I think this would be kind of cool. I love the two pieces too, where we didn't know it was him to begin with until later on, where he was the entity that was moving the pieces around the board, and then of course now that he's back in the real world. Fantastic Four, no, no. This would, of course, Namor in a Fantastic Four story would have been far better than in Black Panther, which I didn't even bother seeing because they had destroyed Namor. So no more stupid ass shit. I can't even, these people. So I didn't even bother seeing it because they destroyed that character so badly. And Green Arrow, no, this has been pretty poor. All right, well that's it for me. So I had 1 up and 2 down for that matter. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch all the way through. And remember, too, that I have Lords of LA. The link is in the description below if you can give to that campaign. And I think you guys would like it. Again, it's vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. We have plenty of vampire on vampire action. It is a mature book, so we do have blood, sex, and fangs. And even Marilyn Monroe makes an appearance, so definitely check that out. And we're also working, since I was at Gamma, I was out not only pitching Destiny Aurora, but also pitching to the retailers with Mythstorm, which is Mark Spears, who does covers for Spawn and Spider-Man and Power Rangers, etc. He and I are working on a classic Monsters deck building game, and you can see some of the art here as well. And definitely look for that once we release. I'll definitely make an announcement. I have been play testing that as well. All right, thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Check out some of my other videos, or make sure to like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up, give me the middle finger, give me any of it, and also ring that bell, subscribe, it's free, why not? See you guys soon. All right, bye.